There is something eerie about watching footage captured in the last few moments before a disaster. The internet is full of these fragments of history, recordings that feel so normal at first, until you realize what's about to happen. There are brief glimpses into the final calm moments in somebody's life before everything goes wrong. Tonight we are looking at 3 of the most haunting examples. So I welcome you to Moments Before Disaster, where we are looking at somebody's final moments before everything changed. If you're enjoying videos like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps this channel grow, and I promise I will put everything into them to make the best video I can. I'm Snorky, thank you for being here, and let's dive in.
Raging floodwaters have filled her SUV in Arkansas.
Please help me, I don't want to die.
You next time, don't drive in the water.
It's the night of August 24th, 2019. A cold, wet night in Arkansas. The rain has been falling for hours and the streets were slowly turning into rivers. 47-year-old Deborah Stevens was doing what she always did to help to support her family, delivering newspapers around her neighborhood. It wasn't glamorous, but it kept food on the table, and despite the rain, Deborah didn't hesitate, and the weather wouldn't stop her. But the rain wasn't just rain anymore, it was slowly turning into a full-on storm. As Deborah began her delivery route, she didn't even make it far before things went wrong. The streets were completely flooded, and before she could react, the rising water swept her vehicle off the road. She lost control. Her SUV was pushed into a group of trees, stuck, and she was trapped by the current. Panicking, Deborah did the first thing that came to mind. She called her mother-in-law, desperate for help. But there was nothing she could do. Her mother-in-law told her to calm down and to call 911 immediately. By now, the water inside the SUV was slowly rising. She was nervous, scared, but surely 911 would help, right? She told the operator she was stuck between trees and couldn't move the car. She couldn't even open the doors, and the water was still climbing. This is how the parties played out.
I have an emergency, a severe emergency. I'm in a flooding. My car veered off the road while I was doing my newspapers, and I'm flooded over here on the end of Kincaid, and it's all the way up to my windows, and I can't get out, and I'm scared to death, ma'am. Can you please help me really bad?
I need you to calm down. I need you to tell me where you are.
I don't know, ma'am. I'm on the end of Kincaid down here by these apartments. There's some apartments on Kincaid. I don't know what they're called.
What color is your vehicle?
Avenue. On the other side of Kincaid, at the very end of Kincaid Street, there's some apartments, and
Right. Do you have a dark blue car, is what I'm asking you? What color is your vehicle?
Yeah, dark. It's gray SUV, lady. The water's all the way up to my windows.
Okay, hold on for me. Don't hang up. Am I not on the phone with you trying to get you some help?
Yes,
Okay, so stop.
give me help before I die. I'm sorry.
You're not going to die. I don't know why you're freaking out. It's okay. I know the water level is
I'm
high.
scared.
I understand that, but you freaking out doing nothing but losing your oxygen up in there, so just calm
But
down.
are they not going to come get me?
You said what? I'm sorry?
When are they going to be here?
As soon as they get...
On the other end was 911 operator Donna Renault. But instead of a calm reassurance, Donna's voice carried something else. It seems like she was irritated, as if she didn't believe Deborah was in real danger. To Donna, maybe it was just another routine call, but to Deborah it was the most terrifying moment of her life. The minutes passed, the water rose higher, Deborah was pleading, panicking, struggling to stay calm. But instead of comfort, the voice on the other end grew colder and we could say even annoyed.
Gary, just calm down for me.
I'm scared. I've never had anything like this happen to me before.
Well, this will teach you next time. Don't drive in the water.
Couldn't see it, ma'am. I'm sorry, or I wouldn't have.
I don't see how you didn't see it. You had to go right over it, so...
No, ma'am. I was in a drive. I was in a parking lot. There was no water where I was at.
Okay.
We could say it was clear from the tone of the operator that she isn't taking the situation seriously, but Deborah is still stuck in her car, unable to leave. According to the later reports, the dispatcher didn't treat this call as a high priority, but at the end she made it, after losing precious minutes. At the time, Deborah was still alone in cold water, terrified, and a very important thing to add here, Deborah didn't know how to swim.
I have an officer and the fire department coming out to you, so just hold on, okay?
Thank you. I'm sorry if I'm rude, but I'm
You're not
scared.
being rude. I know you're...
The situation was desperate. Deborah was in real danger, pleading for any kind of help, just trying to get out of alive. But once again, instead of offering comfort, the operator sounded irritated. The water levels were so high that the situation was beyond desperate. Deborah wasn't just scared anymore. She was actively fighting for her life, begging for any kind of help just to survive this night.
Oh my God, my car started to move. Oh man, my car started to move.
Go ahead and tip up the boat and get it ready.
Listen to me.
I know. I'm trying to get you as help as I can, okay? Just hold on for me.
Okay, man, please.
I
don't
know
wanna
you're
die,
scared. I
please.
know. Hold on for me, because I've got to take other calls plus you. And listen to
Okay,
me.
man.
Okay, I know. Listen to me. They are in the area. They are trying to find you. They cannot find you right now. I'm trying to ping where you are, so do not hang up, because it's not...
Deborah was gasping for air and screaming. She couldn't breathe, but this is what Donna had to say.
Okay, where are you moving to? Tell me where it's going. Station 1. Okay, tell me where you are. I'm with her right now. She is legit freaking out.
That night, Deborah Stevens lost her life. Her grey SUV was swept away by the flood, completely submerged in water. Even though a few people nearby wanted to help, but the current was simply too strong and they couldn't reach her. And just 10 minutes later, after the call ended, the fire department finally arrived at the scene, ready to assist. But it was too late. These were only the snippets of the call, because the whole phone call lasted for 25 minutes. And this leaves you wondering, could this have been avoided if the dispatcher had acted differently? If she had recognized the urgency, shown a shred of empathy, would Deborah still be alive today?
Next tonight, the 911 outrage. A dispatcher on her final shift taking a call from a woman stranded in her car as floodwaters rise. She panics, but it's what the dispatcher says that's so shocking. Here's ABC's Alex Perez.
This 911 call was not only Deborah's last one, but also Donna's, because Donna had already resigned 30 days prior. She was working her final shift as a 911 operator that night, and yet, the way how she spoke to Deborah, cold, emotionless, almost condescending, felt just surreal. The lack of any compassion was hard to believe. When I first heard the recording, I felt angry at the dispatcher and heartbroken for Deborah. There was no real guidance, no real comfort, like she wasn't even a human. And what made it all worse, an internal investigation later concluded that no wrongdoings occurred and that the dispatcher had followed the protocol, so there weren't any consequences for Donna. Listening to Deborah's final pleas, knowing she did everything right, that she called for help, begged for her life, tried to stay calm, and still lost her life in such a horrible way, is one of the most haunting things I ever heard. It's impossible to not put yourself in her shoes, and it's impossible to forget, because this is truly one of the most chilling final moments ever captured on tape.
At one point, Stevens was getting frantic and got this response.
These people are out. They can all see me. They're all standing out there watching us.
Miss Debbie, you're going to have to shut up, okay? I need you to
I'm
listen.
sorry.
Stevens ultimately drowned, despite frantic efforts, officials say, by first responders to find her. Police describing the operator's response as calloused and uncaring at times.
What would you do if the most beautiful moment of your life turns into your last? This is the sad story of Andrew and Lucy Foster. Andrew and Lucy Foster were a couple from the UK, and they wanted to celebrate their first anniversary with something special. Their passion included climbing, skiing, surfing, and pretty much anything that involves adventuring outdoors. That's why they decided to fly to America and visit Yosemite on vacation. Yosemite is a national park which is known for its massive granite cliffs like El Capitan and Half Dome, along with breathtaking waterfalls and ancient giant sequoia trees. It's one of the most iconic US parks, famous for rock climbing, hiking and stunning natural landscapes, because they had also one special passion, and that was hiking. Like many before them, they were captivated by the massive granite cliffs and the endless trails. It's a kind of place where people go to disconnect from the modern life we live in and simply enjoy the moment. On September 27, they headed out to El Capitan, the iconic 3,000-foot granite monolith, with plans to scout a climbing route. They would set up the cameras, take selfies, and film short clips on their hike to El Capitan.
Me and Andy are out in Millstone, and Andy is practicing his aid climbing, ready for Yosemite.
The weather was perfect, there were no warnings. At first glance, this all sounds like a story from a romantic movie, just a young couple being in love and doing something they enjoy. Here is Andrew, proudly posing in front of one of the most biggest challenges of his life, but this is also one of the last pictures he taken.
Over 1,000 tons of granite have fallen onto a popular hiking trail in California's Yosemite National Park.
Because something was about to happen. Something massive and completely invisible until it was too late. As they were taking pictures and climbing, a rock fall was silently building above them. A giant slab of granite, the size of an apartment building, was breaking loose from the cliffside. No rumble, no warning. And then it hit.
Oh jeez!
As you can see, it's like a huge cloud of white grey dust erupting in the ground. It looks like a small explosion you would see in movies. One of the rangers describes this scene as one of the most devastating incidents he ever witnessed in the park. That day, Andrew was killed on the spot, but in his last moments he did something heroic, which he will be remembered for. He used his body as a shield from the falling granite to protect his wife Lucy. Lucy suffered 2 broken ribs and a punctured lung, but she survived. Later, as the rangers and rescue team rushed to the scene, they managed to pull out Lucy and flew her down with a helicopter, where she could be transported to the hospital. This was the story of Andrew and Lucy, a couple that shared a passion for hiking. But their story didn't end here. Lucy later recovered in a California hospital and flew back home to Britain. She was devastated by the loss of her husband, but also grateful to be alive, knowing that Andrew's quick action is the reason why she survived. In an interview she stated, "Andrew saved my life. He died on top of me. As soon as he could see what was going on, he saved my life." Those who know the Fosters described Andrew as adventurous, kind soul who loved the mountains and loved his wife most of all.
Andy and Lucy both lived for climbing and adventure. They were both highly skilled and competent climbers, and this was a tragic case of wrong place and the wrong time.
His heroic final act speaks volumes about his character, but after the tragedy, Lucy decided their adventure couldn't end there. To honor Andy's courage and his love for outdoors, she created a Camembert Fund for Adventure. It's a charity dedicated to helping young people experiencing hiking, climbing, and all kinds of adventures Andy lived for. As part of that fund, participants would wear a Andy band, a simple wristband meant to carry his spirit forward, encouraging people to go out in the world and share their story using the hashtag #AndyBand. From a single tragic moment in Yosemite came something powerful. A legacy of courage, love, and the drive to help others find freedom in the outdoors. And if you want to learn more about the story or the charity, you can find it at CamenBearFound.com.
Me and Andy are out in Millstone, and Andy is practicing his aid climbing, ready for Yosemite.
When being a star, meeting your fans should be a moment of pure joy, because you are amongst people who are supporting you. For 22-year-old Christina Grimmie, it was, until it turned into a nightmare. Christina wasn't just another artist, she was a rising star who first captured hearts on YouTube. It all started back in 2009 in New Jersey. Christina was only 15 when she uploaded her first video, a Hannah Montana cover song.
Hi, I'm going to be singing I Don't Want to Be Torn by Hannah Montana, and I'm going to be playing on piano, and if some of the notes are wrong, you know, whatever. I'm playing it for like, I guess, a week now.
It didn't take long for her voice to grab people's attention. She was also ridiculed online, but this didn't last long. Over the next couple of years, she built a massive following, even breaking 1 million subscribers by 2011, which at the time was almost unheard of. That same year, she released her debut EP called Find Me, followed with her first full album called With Love in 2013. But her fanbase exploded even further when she joined The Voice.
Listen, with all the focus and faith, nothing will make an incredible connection to someone who will understand who you are as an artist and be able to unlock the incredible potential that is.
Thank you so much.
She knows that.
Listen,
I love you, Usher.
it's
I
actually
love
the
you.
truth. I plan on winning this entire thing with you.
Despite finishing in third place, Christina became a fan favorite, impressing both viewers and celebrities coaches alike. At one point, even Lil Ben expressed interest in signing her to his label, Young Money Entertainment. By 2016, Christina was really starting to blow up. She was opening for artists like Selena Gomez, and you could tell that her career was about to hit the next level. But the thing about Christina was, she never felt like some untouchable celebrity. From day one on YouTube, she would upload bloopers, laugh about her mistakes, and she built a personal connection with her fanbase. It always felt like you're watching a normal girl singing in her bedroom, not someone chasing fame. That's what made her so easy to root for. She seemed real. On June 2010, she performed a small, intimate concert at Plaza Live in Orlando, Florida.
On Twitter. We're in Orlando today. Please come to the show if you live near Orlando, Florida.
And after her performance, she did something that reflected her persona. She held a free meet and greet for everyone who wanted to say hello. There is footage from that night. Christina behind a merchandise table, smiling ear to ear, hugging fans, signing autographs, making every single person feel appreciated. But if you know what would happen next, this clip would leave a haunting impact. Because you are seeing this young girl full of life and gratitude, glowing with joy and completely unaware of the danger waiting in the line just a few feet away. Among the fans who queued up that night, there was also the 27-year-old Kevin James Loibel. To Christina, he was just another fan, and to everyone else, he looked like another fan waiting for a hug. But behind that quiet exterior, there was obsession that he was building up for months. In the last year of his life, Kevin had become completely fixated on Christina. His only friend later told the police that he spent nearly all of his waking hours watching her YouTube videos and monitoring her social media. He even referred to her as his soulmate, claiming that Christina fully changed his view on the world. In the weeks leading up to the show, he made his plan. He legally purchased 2 Glock 9mm handguns. He also packed extra ammo and a tactical hunting knife. The night before the show, he checked into an Orlando hotel with no luggage, paid with cash for his room, and slept on the top of the covers. The next morning, he printed his ticket, walked in the venue like every other fan. Nobody noticed that Kevin was carrying something. Some people later recalled that he could be described as nervous and kind of creepy, but nothing that set any alarms off. To everyone else, he blended in completely. But to Kevin himself, this wasn't just a meet and greet. This was the moment when his delusions would collide with reality.
Investigators are trying to understand why a heavily armed man opened fire on a young pop star just as she finished what would become her final performance.
As Christina greeted him with open arms, just like she had with every fan before him, she had no idea what his true intentions were. Before anyone could react, Kevin pulled out a gun and shot Christina 3 times at point-blank range. In a split second, the atmosphere shifted from joy to chaos. Christina collapsed to the floor, critically wounded, not even fully processing what had just happened. Her brother Marcus, only a few feet away, didn't hesitate. He tackled Kevin without a second thought for his own safety, a move that probably saved more lives when you think about it. In that struggle, Kevin broke free, pulled out his second gun, and turned it on himself. With one more shot, this entire attack was over in mere seconds. Fans screamed and ducked for cover. Others rushed to Christina as she lay on the venue floor, barely clinging to her life. Off-duty medics in the crowd tried to stop the bleeding. Paramedics performed CPR as they rushed her to the hospital, but her injuries were too severe. At 10:59 p.m., just 35 minutes after the shootout, she was pronounced dead in a hospital. A bright young talent gone in an instant, and an act of senseless violence that left the entire loom and later the role in shock.
Christina Grimmie, rising to fame on The Voice, was signing autographs when she was shot. This photo of the singer and a fan believed to be one of her last.
But there is more to it. As news of Christina's murder sent shockwaves through the music world and her fan base, then came the question, how did something like this even happen? The first target of the outrage was the venue's security. There were no metal detectors, no real bag checks. Staff were mostly looking for alcohol. It later came out that their security team had been cut short that night due to cost savings measures. And because of that, Kevin walked in basically fully armed, right alongside teenagers and parents, and with no one noticing it. And what makes this even more heartbreaking is that Christina greeted him with open arms. Her willingness to hug a complete stranger was exploited in the most worst way possible. In the days that followed, the details about Kevin's life started to surface, as they were beyond disturbing. Police learned that his family claimed he had no history of mental illnesses, but he lived like a hermit, rarely leaving his room. His windows were covered with aluminum foil and heavy curtains because of what they called aversion to light. He spent most of his days locked in, playing World of Warcraft. Investigators discovered that in the last year of his life, Kevin was completely consumed by Christina. In the moments leading to the concert, he completely changed his appearances. He lost 50 pounds, got hair implants, whitened his teeth, and underwent a LASIK eye surgery. And later he told his friend it was all for her. He built a fantasy relationship in his head that didn't exist, and in that twisted logic, if he couldn't have her, no one would. Nobody around him saw this coming. The only noticeable thing here to add is that his friend told the police he said he was just tired and had enough. But who pushed him over the edge? Maybe it was the death of his mother, which he reportedly blamed on himself, or perhaps because Christina got a boyfriend. These are all questions we will never really have an answer to. All we know that his obsession pushed him over the edge. For the fans who grew up with Christina on YouTube, her death felt devastatingly personal. She wasn't some distant celebrity. She was a girl singing covers in her bedroom, thanking her viewers, and connecting with people in a real way.
Grimmie's death leaving so many performers grief-stricken. Pharrell calling it a tragic loss. Blake Shelton saying he's heartbroken. From Selena Gomez, I miss you, Christina.
This whole case is utterly gut-wrenching. Her YouTube channel is still online, and her family continues to share her music. They also founded the Christina Grimmie Foundation to help victims of gun violence and families affected by tragedy, keeping the legacy alive in the face of something so senseless. Christina's family, especially her brother Marcus, were left traumatized but also hailed as heroes. He later said that he believes that Kevin intended to massacre more people, but we'll never know this for sure. In 2016, it was planned that Christina Grimmie would sign her first major record deal, but not being more than a memorial service. Hundreds of fans attended her funeral in New Jersey, singing "In Christ Alone," one of her favorite church songs, under a candlelight. It's deeply unsettling that someone so full of kindness and light became the victim of such darkness. This part is for the few among you I can truly call my deep divers and loyal viewers. Many of you already know that last year was the worst year of my life. First of all, I lost my uncle at 52, who was somebody I could consider a father to me. And just a few months later, my brother and his friend had a terrible accident. I still haven't processed any of this, and I'm still hoping to see them all when I arrive at home, but I know that this isn't going to happen. This August I'll be spending more time with my family. We're not throwing a party, but I'm organizing a small gathering for my birthday, just to bring everyone together, I guess. That's why I recorded this video way earlier. I didn't want to leave you without anything in August. Honestly, it did cost me a lot of sleepless nights to get it done, but every like and comment from you guys makes it worth it. Because I did get so many nice and positive messages from you guys, and I really thank you for that. They mean more than you think. And I don't know what to say else. Please, call your loved ones. Check in on that one friend you haven't heard in a while. And most of all, enjoy life. You'll hear from me soon. Love you guys so much. I've been Snorky, and until the next deep dive, stay curious. Bye guys.